Fly fishing uses artificial lures called flies rather than natural bait like worms. A fly is a hook that has materials like feathers tied to it with thread to trick the fish into thinking there's an insect floating on the water. To make your own flies, you use a fly tying vise. This fly tying vise has pockets in its base to hold your materials and sturdy steel jaws to grip the fish hook while you tie those materials onto it. This machine makes the sand molds for casting the metal pocket bases. It deposits moist sand into a flask to form one half of a mold, then rolls over the flask to a pattern on the other side. After spraying the pattern with a non-stick coating, a worker sifts sand onto it. Then the machine deposits sand on top to form the other half of the mold. It compresses the sand with roughly 4.5 tons of hydraulic pressure. The pattern sandwiched at the center forms the mold cavity. A machine separates the halves to remove the pattern, then puts them back together. In the casting area, workers heat pieces of bronze to approximately 1,922 degrees Fahrenheit, melting them down. They remove the pot from the electric furnace and place it in a pouring shank. They pour the molten bronze down a channel leading to the mold cavity. After about a half hour, once the bronze has cooled and solidified, they flip the mold onto a vibrating grate. First, the impact and then the shaking break the mold. The sand falls through the grate, while 4 connected bronze pocket bases remain on top. Once they're cool enough to be handled, a worker saws them apart. The bases go into a rotating drum filled with tiny steel beads. As the drum spins, the centrifugal force throws the beads against the bases. This removes all remnants of sand and polishes the surface smooth. The bases go onto a computer-guided milling machine. It drills a hole to affix the mounting piece for the stem that holds the head of the vise. The mill also cuts a circular hole at the center of the base for a decorative coin bearing the manufacturer's logo. They finish the bases with a clear protective coat, a proprietary formula that prevents the bronze from oxidizing. The vise's other parts are machined out of metal bars. Here, a computer-guided lathe transforms 2 square steel bars into the vise's jaws. First, it cuts a small half circle on one piece for the cam that opens and closes the jaws. Then it turns the ends to form a point. The entire transformation from bars to jaws takes about 90 seconds. They place the jaws, one at a time, into a press and make a slight bend to set the correct spring tension. They verify the depth of the bend with a specialized measuring tool, then send the jaws to an outside facility that applies a black protective finish. When the jaws come back, workers assemble them. First, they put the cam through the semicircular hole. Then they compress the jaws in a vise and slide an aluminum head onto the back. When the jaws come out of the vise, they expand to their original position, retaining the head. Workers apply the manufacturer's sticker, then thread a brass thumb screw that you turn to lock in the position of the head, which swivels left, right, or 360 degrees. They then bolt the handle into the cam. When you depress the handle, the cam opens, opening the jaws. On the reverse side of the jaws, they mount a clip for holding the feathers, yarn, or other materials you're using to tie your fly. Then they glue the logo coin into the pocket base. They install the mounting piece for the stem, then the stem itself. A thumb screw on the mount holds the stem in place. The head connects to a swivel at the top of the stem. The jaws securely hold the hook while you tie your fly, using anything from feathers and fur to tinsel and beads, creating your imitation of an appetizing insect or tiny fish.